Fleming here, and I should be recording for an audiobook, but I've got a sore throat, so I'm going to have to do something else. And so I'm going to record a little video because actually it's not so stressful on my throat. And that was a cat jumping off the roof. Just so you know. We want to discuss the difference between transsexual and transvestite, yet again. And the reason for this is that transvestites, in the West at least, have largely laid claim to the term transsexual. Now, I'm not quite sure where this first appeared. It certainly was present in John Money's cat. And it seems to be kind of adopted. But the place where it really did damage was that Ray Blanchard, a man for whom I have the utmost respect, let's make that clear, when he started to talk about the different types of male who wanted to appear to be women, he used this term transsexual. Right? So he said there were homosexual transsexuals, which absolutely is the case, but also there were these weird non-homosexual transsexuals. So what has happened, and thanks in part to some of the efforts of some of the very politically active transvestites, people like Virginia Price, this idea of let's call ourselves transsexual. Actually, she called herself a true transvestite. Wow. Anyway, we have to stop that. We have to stop saying that. We have to say what people are. Transsexuals are all homosexual. If you take the etiologies, and Blanchard was clear about this, he said in an interview, he said, if feminine homosexuals are a 6 on Kinsey, then transsexuals are a 7 or an 8. He couldn't put it better. It's exactly as it is. They are the extreme end of the homosexual spectrum. What is the homosexual spectrum? It's those people who have been affected in utero by sexual inversion. For some reason, there are mechanisms. There's a duality of mechanisms which have, plurality actually, which have been proposed. But we do know that basically what happens is these people have actually got normal levels for a male of testosterone, but it has no effect. And that this continues right through their lives, although over time they will tend to slowly masculinize, but nothing like the rate that like I would or any other normal man would. So we know that this is a very particular group, and like all things which are natural and biological, there's a scale of variation. So you have maybe what we would call low-level Western style bisexuals, who are a bit like maybe gay curious or whatever you want to call it, silly words. And then it goes up through feminine homosexuals and up to genuine transsexuals, real transsexuals, homosexual transsexuals, right? And they are the most complete expression of male homosexuality. It's that simple. They just are. When you meet them, you're talking to a girl. It's very, very basic, this. It doesn't matter whether she has a cock or not, she's still a girl. She wants men. Now, let's have a wee thinky about what defines this. Now, in order to be a homosexual transsexual, you must first be homosexual. Right? You can't adopt it, you can't learn it. You're like that from childhood, because all of this actually happened in utero. See? And it sticks with you. So, there's no changes here. You are this thing. You're homosexual. Homosexual. Right? With a capital H. And homosexuals have immense qualities. I mean, they're, generally speaking, really nice people. They have often artistic talent. They're often just amazing dancers. There's a whole range of things that they do which they're really, really good at, and which are terrific to have in society. They're lovely people. You know, if you have homosexuals as friends, they're good friends. That's, what can I say? They're really good friends. They're lovely people. And they, if they're really in a position to do so, and their sexual inversion, which is the term for all this, is strong enough, that causes, well, you know, homosexuals don't really feel gender dysphoria in the sense that the non-homosexual type do. But nevertheless, if they feel strongly enough and they feel safe to do so, this is really crucial, then they'll live as women. So a homosexual, right, which is a personality and physical type, a homosexual who lives as a woman is a homosexual transsexual. Have we got this clear now? The problem is, of course, that not everybody in the gay lifestyle is homosexual at all. In fact, it would appear that most of them aren't. That actual homosexuals are a minority. Who could have thought it? We'll have to go into that some other time, because right now we're interested in the way that transvestites, yet again, are attempting to colonise and erase true transsexuals. What is it ultimately that really defines the homosexual transsexual, the true transsexual? Is it the fact that she looks amazing? She's very pretty. You know, put her in a dress and you go, wow. That she has lovely features? Is it that she's a terrific dancer? Is it that she's, you know, very talented with her hands? She can make things. She's really good at that kind of thing. She loves to sew. And it's not like a put on love. She actually loves to sew. She likes to make things. Is it any of those things? Is that now? This is where, you know, it might appear that I disagree, but I do agree. At the end of the day, the one truly defining element of being a homosexual is their absolutely raving passion for men. A passion which appears in childhood. And I mean, I'm talking about 4 years old. It's well established now that early childhood crushes on same-sex targets predict homosexuality. I don't know how many papers there are that tell you this, but it's there. If you've got a kid who is sexy typical, the chances are, unless it's just a passing phase, which does happen, but if he's displaying consistently, persistently and insistently sex atypical behaviour, that child is going to be a homosexual. And if he's extreme, he will be a transsexual. And you let him, because in the West, you know, they're beaten to crap and bloody pulps because, you know, we can't have male femininity. Oh my god, we can't have males looking like women. They might be attractive. Oh, shit! Men might actually think they're sexy. Oh my god, the world will fall apart! That's what's actually happening. That's what's actually happening in the West. Doesn't happen here. Nobody gives a shit. Sorry, I've got a snuffle. Anyhow, the thing that makes them really, you know, the one thing that you can say that all homosexuals have is a total, absorbing, overwhelming passion for men. And not just men, to be nailed to the bed by huge, muscular, hairy men. Right? Quentin Crisp wrote a lot about this, and he said that, you know, all you have to do is figure out what it is that a homosexual sees herself as, and then you know what kind of partner she wants. And that's why they choose huge, dangerous, violent brutes as partners. Because they want to be taken. And they do that from a very early age. You know, this is appearing in their sexual fantasies when they're very, very young. And we know this from, you know, a later interview and also from observation. That these people, they're going to be homosexual. It's just a question of culture whether they end up being like vaguely looking like some kind of man monkey, or not monkey, it's an E acute at the end, or beautiful women. And when society turns around and says, no, you can't be a beautiful woman because we can't allow male femininity. Oh, no, we can't allow that. That really breaks all our rules. You know, we got all this God stuff and all this feminism stuff and all the rest of it. Gotta have it. Well, fuck off. Just go and fuck yourselves. So, what's with the transvestites? Transvestites were like, everybody went, you know, let's just ignore that lot because they're idiots. Which they are. For a very long time. Now we know that, in fact, amongst those who transitioners, if you like, I mean, homosexuals don't really transition. They complete as girls. It's a different thing. But never mind. We'll use the term just now. In the United States, Ray Blanchard has reckoned that 80% of transitioners are actually transvestites. They're not transsexual at all. But they will insist on calling themselves transsexual, especially if they have GRS. They'll say, oh, but I had my cock cut off. I am transsexual. Fuck off. You are not transsexual. Taking your cock off just makes, as Ray Blanchard said, just creates a man without a penis. You are, in fact, a dickless wonder. That's it. That's all you are. When we look at the life of a true transsexual, that's a homosexual, we see at the core of her essence is her passion for men, her desire to submit absolutely to a man in bed, for a man to be inside her, giving her the sensations that she craves. Do autogynephiles feel that way? Well, some autogynephiles, to be fair, they will learn to enjoy sex that way. And in fact, they may actually even make it uniquely their sexual practice. But they're still not homosexual, because they started off lusting after girls, and now they are the girl that they once lusted after. That's it. That's as simple as that. How would this person be able to describe themselves or himself as transsexual? How would he do it? You know, you can't talk about, when I was 6 I had this crush on my geography teacher. Oh my God, I'm embarrassed to say now what it was like. Or, when I was 13, I had this cousin, and oh my God, he's gorgeous. Yeah, he had me behind the bike shed. It was just great. The non-homosexuals don't say things like that. Only homosexual, i.e. true transsexuals, do. Why are they different? Because their sexuality is inverted. That's what makes them transsexual. They have inverted sexuality. Transvestites don't. All they've got is girl clothes and maybe some makeup. That's it. They get off on appearing to be women. They get sexual relief from appearing to be women. You talk to certainly the vast majority of Western autogynephiles I've talked to, they said no, they just can't, or it's very limited, the extent to which they can allow themselves to be taken by a man. Basically what they're saying is, no, we're not homosexual. I'm not homosexual. If you're not homosexual, how can you possibly be transsexual? It's not got to do with, a couple ounces of flesh hanging between your legs. It's got to do with here. Sex happens in the fucking brain, you idiots. Don't you get that? How would you possibly, if you were one of these jeeps, I like to call them, how would you know that you're a transsexual, or even worse, a real woman? How would you know? Oh, I like to wear girly clothes. Yeah, I put the stockings on. If I try to get girly panties on, I have to jack one off because I can't. It gets hard. It's really, it's just like that. It's pure fetishism. That's all it is. You've got a fetish for, and what happens is that they are extreme, severely extreme, excessively extreme heterosexuals, and so they turn themselves into the woman that they want. So when the woman they want has got, frilly knickers on, it's like, oh my God, we've got, what is it they call it? Oh yeah. I've got gender euphoria. What they mean is they've got a boner. Or hard on, as we British call it. That's what they mean. That's what their definition of being a real woman is. I get a hard on when I look at myself wearing skimpy lingerie. Or I get a hard on when I stick a big dildo up my arse, like a certain Jackson Stokes. Likes to dress as a particular movie star. He's a very ugly guy. And shaft himself with a dildo, and this is what, it makes me feel like a woman. Oh, yeah, that does attract for me. And there's just no comparison between you. You can't go out and call yourself a transsexual, because you're not. Your definition is all about a narcissistic, autoerotic self-obsession with masturbatory practice. That's what it is. That's all it is. A homosexual, she just wants to give herself to a man. She wants a man that she's going to like, oh boy. And I tell you something, if you've never done this, you don't know how well a homosexual will look after you. You have no fucking idea. These are the perfect wives. There's nothing they won't do for their man. They're incredible, Your life will just be filled, swimming with love. Because that's what they're like. That's all they want to do. They want to give themselves to a man, the man they've chosen. And once they've got him, they'll bugger if they'll let him go. Seriously. Breaking up with a transsexual You know, it's not pleasant. Believe me, I've had to do it more than once, and I did not enjoy it. Not because, you know, I didn't enjoy hurting the person, that's true, but the relationship was completely unsuitable. I didn't enjoy the actual trauma of telling this person while she went into total, utter and complete meltdown. You know? Which I understand, but you have to be careful, you have to choose wisely. So, what has the transvestite got? Oh man, oh, I feel like a woman. What does a woman feel like? Tell me what it feels like to be a woman. Now, if you're a woman watching this, you tell us, what does it feel like to be a woman? You don't have a fucking clue because nobody does. I don't know what it feels like to be a man. I know what it feels like to be me. I live my life. I'm aware. I'm conscious of my life. But how does that define me as a man? It just defines me as me. You can't say, oh, I'm a real woman because I had my cock cut off. I can't imagine anything more stupid. And you know, stupidity is not something that transvestites want for. I mean, they are famous for their utter brainlessness. I mean, how can you get to that point? How can you do that? Man, I feel like a woman. You know, we are not fucking Shania Twain. Come on. Shania's pretty hot, by the way. Still, good looking woman. Do you get this? You can't just say, oh, I feel like, how would you know what it feels like to be a woman? Michael Bailey said this 20 years ago. How could you possibly know what it feels like to be a woman if you're a male? Especially for a non-homosexual, a transvestite. You didn't grow up playing with girly toys. I don't care how much you lie about it now. You didn't grow up having crushes at the age of 6 on your geography teacher and having to run home and go draw pictures of him. You know? And what's that thing between? You didn't spend your life, as Quentin Chris says, you didn't spend your life looking at the front of men's trousers. Nice quote from Quentin, by the way. He was a great writer. Very funny man. Girl, sorry, I beg your pardon. Quentin was a lovely girl. And very, very funny. You didn't do any of that. One day you were jerking off to something or other, and suddenly it went, ba-doink. Oh, it's me. Oh, it's me. Oh, I can make this better. Tell you what, I'll go and steal some underwear and put that on, see if it makes it feel better. Oh, wait a minute. And pretty soon you're way down the road. The next thing you know, oh, I have to have my dick cut off. That's not even gender dysphoria. That's body dysmorphia. It's a different thing. You know, you are sick in the head. Transsexuals are not sick in the head. They're perfectly normal people. They're just sexually inverted. Which is what it is. There's nothing particularly weird about it. We know that things didn't exactly go the way as planned for them in utero, and we think that Ray Blanchard's done some work on this, that maybe it's to do with the sequence of births. You know, that if a woman has a boy child and then very shortly after, as soon as she can, she conceives with another male embryo, fetus, child, then there is a raised possibility that that second child will be homosexual. A homosexual. And if they're a homosexual, if you're right in the right culture and it's strong enough, a transsexual. So that's a raised possibility there. So it's not a gene, but it's epigenetic, it's called. So we know that this is not something someone just, you know, I think I'll have a good jerk off on the bed today and I'll wear my frilly knickers. I'll make it better. Oh, I got a big dildo in the mail. Oh, I can't wait to try. You know, I once came across, and I was fucking shocked. I'm not easy to shock. This absolute creep of a Notting Enophile selling used, wait for it, and this was not particularly gifted, as they call it around here, selling used sex toys online, right? And here's the kicker. You could buy them either washed or unwashed. Think about that. You're going to buy, these freaks are going to buy some other freaks used shit-covered dildos, because they don't know how to keep themselves clean. They're not like homosexual transsexuals. The homosexual transsexual, clean as a whistle. You know, you want it personal, I have absolutely no issues whatsoever with performing anilingus on a homosexual transsexual, certainly not one here. Or true transsexual, that is. I'm buggered if I do that to a Western not a gynophile. No fucking chance. You don't know how to keep clean. You just don't. Whereas these girls, I mean, it's fucking, you know, it's 12 years that I've been dating trans women, ladyboys. Once was there an accident and the girl didn't feel very well at the time and she said, I'm real sorry, you know, I shouldn't have done it because I'm not feeling well. I said, you silly bitch, I shouldn't have. I would have said, just wait till tomorrow. You have to respect the fact that, you know, what you're actually in is part of the alimentary tract. And if she's got a tummy upset, you shouldn't be doing anything in there. Full stop. It's all worth it, because I can tell you something. If you're inside one of these girls when she orgasms, you're really, really going to know about it. You know, it's like, what did you just do to me? As the contractions, you know. You sure you know what I'm talking about? There is no transvestite understands any of this. They're all like, oh yeah, I look in the mirror, that gets me hot. Gender euphoria. I've got a gender euphoria boner. No, transsexuals are homosexual transsexuals. You must be a homosexual in order to be a transsexual. If you're not a homosexual but you do like to dress up as a girl, you're a transvestite, because that's all you like to do, dress up as a girl. You don't have any of the other stuff. You just don't. You're just a guy wearing girl clothes. You're a transvestite. Get it through your thick little heads, and please stop trying to claim the territory that rightfully belongs to homosexuals. Transsexuals. They're transsexual. You're transvestite. Get over yourselves. Thank you, and so bye. I will leave you because the dog next door is going nuts again. I don't know what they do that fucking thing.